My name is Randy Briant. I'm 40 years old. I'm from Cleveland Springs, Oklahoma, and yes, I am a Sooner fan. I live in Mayfield, Kentucky now, where I met my beautiful wife in 2005. We got married in 2006. We had 3 wonderful children, 2 girls and a boy, Megan, McKiley, and Malachi. I spent 8 years in the United States Army as an infantry soldier. My goal was to spend 20 years and retire, but after a Humvee accident damaged both of my knees and I had to have surgery and take a medical discharge. I'm an extrovert. I'm very outgoing and sociably, just a sociable person. Even though my mother-in-law says I just don't know how to shut up, but that's just her. In 2014, on my 36th birthday, my wife took me to Mermet Springs, Illinois to try scuba, and I fell in love with it. Later on that year, I became certified. I'm also a Christian, but I do not have religion. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. My wife and I attend Elevation Point Church in Paducah, Kentucky at the Expo Center, where I am sound tech and my wife sings on the praise and worship team. I'd like to tell you a story about my mother and sister in a 3-wheeler accident when I was a young boy living in the country in Covington, Oklahoma at 7 years old. We were down at a friend's house a couple miles away from where we lived. Everybody there drove 3-wheelers and dirt bikes and just messed around the country because we're all country boys. But we were at a friend's house eating supper, and it was getting late into the evening, and we decided to go home. My mother and sister hopped on the 3-wheeler, my brother on his motorcycle, and we all headed out. I was with my dad in the truck. My brother was in the lead, and my mother and sister are in the 3-wheeler, and they had a blowout on the right rear of the 3-wheeler, which my mother lost control of the 3-wheeler and then went down a steep embankment and hit some metal gates. It threw both of them off the 3-wheeler. My mother sustained bruises and cuts and scratches, but nothing life-threatening. They took her to a local hospital in Enid, Oklahoma. My sister, otherwise, she sustained life-threatening injuries. The 3-wheeler threw her off into the metal gates, and the 3-wheeler landed on top of her. She had to be medified out to a children's hospital 2 hours away from where we lived. And when she got there, the doctors, nurses, and the security staff did not know what happened to my sister. They thought she had been abused. So when my dad got to the hospital, they wouldn't let my dad in. Actually, they called the cops and tried to have my dad arrested for child abuse. Later on, they found out what happened to my sister and finally let my dad come in and see his baby girl while she's sitting there trying to survive. She had to have open heart surgery where they had to repair her torn aorta, which, for you that don't know medical terms or anything, the aorta is the main valve on your heart. If it tears, you can die. There was 1/16 of an inch of skin holding the aorta to her heart. So she had to have open heart surgery and many other surgeries. And after a month-long stay in the IC unit in the children's hospital, she was able to come home. And one of the biggest things I remember about that time frame is when my sister came home, I tried to be her little hero. I was 4 years younger than her, but I tried to do everything I could. Get her drinks, get her food, fluff her pillows, or anything that she needed, a personal little assistant. And it made us very close. And to this day, we are still very close. I'm a very blessed and lucky man not to lose my mother and sister in that tragic accident that night. But thank God that I didn't. The most important thing that I want you to take from this speech is even though tragedy strikes, families always stick together.